you so much, everybody, for coming back to my channel. Thank you so much to everybody who's watching and listening right now in the podcast. Today is Thursday, February the 12th, 2026. I'm here to give you breaking news, and this is in regards to that woman, the doctor, who was found dead inside the freezer um, at the dollar store in Miami. And this happened on December the 13th, I believe. I came here, I had made a couple videos about it. There was a huge update about this case about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. It was that the family of Dr. Helen Garay decided to make a lawsuit against Dollar Tree stores on wrongful death because of her passing there inside of a fridge at one of their stores, and the lawsuit was for $50 million. I think it was actually over that. So there's a huge update now. They finally excuse me, they have just released the reason, they have just released the official cause of death for Helen Maciel. So I'm going to tell you guys what happened. Before I continue, I want to say thank you so much to everybody who is listening right now using Spotify. Don't forget to follow the podcast. It helps me as a creator. The same thing if you are listening to the podcast or watching right now on YouTube, you can subscribe to my channel. You can join in the subscription, and it helps me as a creator as well to create more videos. So I want to thank everybody who has been doing that, and of course everybody who also listens using Apple Podcasts. Thank you guys so much for doing that. So this is a very sad story. I always said it from the beginning. You have a mom, 32 years old, comes from Nicaragua, I believe, to visit family during the holiday season. She was visiting Miami 2 days before she's due to go back to her house, to her children, to her life over there in Nicaragua. She is found dead inside a freezer at a Dollar Tree store over there on 8th Street in Miami. And you know, so many questions came out of that. The original report was said, a woman was found naked inside a fridge in a dollar store. Like, there's so many things that came out. You have to remember, she was also a doctor and an anesthesiologist specializing in children's medicine. So very intelligent person. Probably they said she was the only one anesthesiology specializing in that field over there in Nicaragua for just for children. And she very accomplished 32-year-old woman, mom of two, and she comes here to visit her dad, her sister, and then she walks into a dollar store on a Saturday night right before they're about to close, and they found her the next day, dead naked inside the freezer. So let me give you the update and the cause of death for Helen Maciel Garay. And when I made a video, like I said, when the family decided to proceed with the lawsuit against Dollar Tree stores, there were so many questions. I questioned where was the person that was with her. We know when people come visit, especially during Christmas time, we usually stay with them, especially if they're not from the area. People were saying, she went in there looking for a bathroom. I couldn't understand how somebody walks into a freezer and realize it's not the bathroom, it's not going to immediately walk out. You're talking about a very intelligent person here. He also says, we also question how come there was nobody else looking for her. Who was she staying with? Where is the family that she came to visit with? Who was waiting for her either outside of the store, within the store, who it was hosting her here? So so many questions. So let me tell you guys exactly here, and you can leave in the comments whatever you think is going to be the outcome of this lawsuit against Dollar Tree. The cause of death of a mom of two who was found dead inside a freezer at a Dollar Tree store in Miami has been released. Dr. Helen Maciel Garay, 32 years old, was found dead inside the freezer at the discount store located on Southwest 8th Street on December 14. On Wednesday, February 11, just yesterday, Miami-Dade County Medical Examiner officer said that her cause of death was environmental hypothermia, with ethanol use being a contributory cause, according to the local media outlet. So, the minute I read that she was also found naked inside the freezer, I remember that years ago there was a case of a family that got stuck in during a snowstorm and they couldn't get out, and the dad said, okay, the family stays in the car. I'm gonna go walk out and look and see who I can find. The storm was so severe, a huge snowstorm. The dad, his body was found near the lake, completely naked. He was frozen dead without any clothes on, right near the water. And when they say that, I was like, why? If you're trying to get help, what are you doing? Kind of like being naked in the middle of a snowstorm, right near the water. There is a phenomenon when people go to that level of hypothermia that it makes them feel like they're actually burning up. So it explains why Helen was found completely nude inside the freezer. And this story that I just mentioned about this dad that was found near the water, this man felt probably that he was burning up, saw water, and he's like, I'm gonna just jump in, right? And how insane is that phenomenon? I'm not a doctor here, but this is what they say. It feels, even though you're so cold, it's actually feel like you're actually super hot to the point like you're like everything that you have on is actually burning you up. That is insane, you guys. So they also say, like I mentioned, the blood ethanol level was 0.112%, and it's also above the legal limit to drive per the outlet. So they say ethanol is used in alcoholic beverages. A blood ethanol level of 0.112 is also above the legal limit. So it says here that a reading of ocular fluid ethanol was also at, so her level, hold on, they're confusing me here. Sanchez ethanol level were found to be 0.112% in her toxicology report. A reading of ocular fluid ethanol was also at 0.156%. And the blood ethanol level of 0.112% is also above the legal limit to drive. So it says here that, so you know they was obviously found that she was drinking, right? That's what basically they're saying. It also says here hypothermia occurs when the body core temperature drops below 95 degrees. Left untreated, hypothermia can cause the heart and respiratory system to fail and eventually can lead to death. Um, Authorities previously said that she entered the Dollar Tree store without buying anything on December 13th, right before the store was about to close. I mentioned that here, she's sleeping into the store on a Saturday night. Employees are ready to go, right? And usually when the store is about to close, everybody, like whoever is working there, we all know how limited staff is at the dollar store. It's Saturday night, they're ready to go during busy Christmas season. So whatever employees, they either counting register or cleaning up and stacking up, making sure the store is clean. And whoever is left, right, whoever is available, is ringing out the last customers of that day. So she goes in the store, walks straight to the back. Helen walks straight to the back and gets inside the freezer. Like such a strange behavior. Is still all of this information, is still all of this, she went in there, didn't buy anything. Who was with her that night? That is my biggest question here in this case. Obviously, she wasn't in the right mind for somebody who is not even from this country, not used to probably going to dollar stores. If she was looking for a bathroom, like I mentioned in my previous video, why not go inside a Taco Bell that was right next to her door, or go back to the restaurant that she probably came from? You're talking about A Street in Miami, filled with restaurants, and a Taco Bell right next to that dollar store. Why would she walk straight to the back? Maybe there was some type of argument. Maybe that's why we haven't heard from that person that was with her that night, and saying, yeah, I was with my cousin, I was with my friend. Yeah, she was drinking, we were having a good time, but I feel that something happened at that dinner gathering. Obviously, she was not there by herself, right? It's not normal behavior for somebody who comes from a different country to visit family for Christmas time to be hanging around in a unfamiliar place that she doesn't even she's this is not her custom. She doesn't even speak English probably. So late at night, because the Dollar Tree was about to close, who was with her? How come, even if she was alone, right? Who was there hosting her? Didn't say, wait, she hasn't gotten back. Who did she went to eat with? Let me call that person. Let me see what's going on. I feel like there was some conversation. Not looking on all of this, there was some conversation happened, and perhaps maybe an argument. She's already been drinking, right? And she's like, I need time. I'm gonna give they say that she said she was gonna go buy candy, some chocolates to bring back home, probably obviously for her kids. She she probably got upset about something, walks into the dollar store, goes straight to the back, and hides in that freezer. And the reason that I say hide in that freezer, guys, is that because there was no, oh my goodness, I'm inside a freezer and now I cannot get out. Let me start banging on the door. Because if that would have been, unless she was completely intoxicated to the point that she went in there and probably passed out and then woke up in the middle of the night and realized what was going on with her, which is a horrible thing to happen to her, to be stuck in that freezer to the point that she gets to the level of hypothermia to eventually lose her life right there. Horrible, tragic thing to happen to her. So, unless she walk in there, like I was saying, passes out in the freezer, because she's not calling out for help once she's realized, she's stuck in that freezer. She's not knocking, banging on doors, get me out of here type of thing. Obviously didn't have any cell phone on her because she didn't call for help, right? Um, and they said that that freezer had a latch inside for emergency. If something happened, apparently that wasn't working, and now this happened. But still, I still question who were the people with her, right? Who were the people that were there with her? Like, who was responsible for her that night? I know she's a grown adult, but still, excuse me, who was staying with her? Who she was staying with? Who did she went out with, right? So it's just very strange. And now, if you saw my previous episode, I did mention that they said that somebody alerted the store employees before they left, right? And they said, somebody said this is just, it could have been a customer who said, hey, I just saw somebody walk straight to the back and she didn't look all right. Somebody also said she stumbled upon him as he was exiting the store and she went in kind of like tumbling already, probably clearly intoxicated, right? And she walks in the back, and then they say, "Be careful with that." There's a lady that doesn't look alright. She just fell or something. Make sure you guys check on that. And no employee. I mean, those employees were so ready to go. That's complete negligence, though, for them to not even check on that. Then there is somebody who said, we wanted them to check the camera. So obviously somebody was probably looking for her. They have not come out and said this, so this could be just people just talking on the internet. I don't know, but somebody did mention that. I think it was in the lawsuit, right? That they said the employees were alerted, saying, we're looking for somebody, and they refuse to look at the cameras. How do you go home if somebody comes to you and say, I'm looking. Can you double check? We're looking for somebody who went in here. How can you not take 15 minutes I know you want to go home. I know you're ready to go. You're counting the register. You're closing down the store. But if somebody comes to you and said, can you guys just walk back there? Um, we, I know my friend came in here. I know my cousin came in here. Can you give me, can you just walk back there just to see if she's there? And an employee is going to refuse to do that. How do you go home knowing that information? And then look what happened. 15 minutes could have been fixed the whole situation. Even like taking, you know, a family member back there, say, you want to walk with me? Well, let's do a quick walk through so that you don't have any doubts that she's not here. And, you know, it's just really sad that this happened. But, they did say she was intoxicated, even though the initial reports came out and said she would see a woman completely normal, right? I think that's what the police was saying. Goes into the store right before they're about to leave and walks straight to the back. And they also said she just went in there with her own intention. Even so, isn't that like a security breach at a store, right? I work retail for many store for many I work retail for many years. Even if I see somebody walk straight to the back, I still will be like, oh my goodness, we're about to get in trouble because we will have a customer back here and they're not supposed to be back here. Um, it's still, I still feel like there is like a responsibility level, right? Okay, she was intoxicated. She walked straight to the back, but I feel like there's a responsibility level of the store, okay? Especially if that's true, that employee was told, can you guys check the cameras? We're trying to find somebody who went in here. We haven't seen her come out. And you refuse to do that. Like, that's really crazy. That's big negligence. And also, I also feel like there's a responsibility in whoever was with her. Like, how do you go back on, especially, I mean, it could be anybody, but like the person that you know is not from the area who's visiting you, that you know she's not from here, you know she doesn't speak the language. You were just at dinner with her, you saw her drinking, you know she was probably upset, getting upset about something, or something triggered her to the point that she was just not in her right mind. And you still like be like, okay, the employees are not listening to me, like, let me get on the phone and call the police because I know she came in here. I have to bring her back home. They're not listening to me, they're about to leave. Let me call the police and make sure this is done because I'm responsible for her. That's what I'm talking about. Like, there's like a divided responsibility in so many people in this case. It says here, Sanchez family who are suing the chain of store manager, the chain and the store manager for over 50 million, claimed that Dollar Tree was negligent in not preventing Sanchez from accessing the store freezer. They also claimed that the manager was placed on actual notice that Sanchez was missing and hadn't exited the store, and that the manager failed to take reasonable action, to assist the family. So yeah, they were looking for her. Somebody said, we told the manager to look. Um, a police said that they have obtained footage from a family member and from the store, and they said this is why we know that there was no foul play. She went in the freezer on her own, right? That was the original report. There was no foul play, nobody, no crime happened here. She went in there on her own. But, um, you know, as a closing store employee, you are responsible to make sure. I mean, I work with you for so many years. There is a checklist of things that you do. You can be, oh, we're already all at the front, ringing the last customer. We're ready to go. We're not walking back there anymore. Like, no, especially if the customer comes and asks you to check, how did you go home knowing that information? You can take 15 minutes to just do a quick, I mean, we're not talking about Costco here. We're talking about a Dollar Tree. How long would it take for you to just walk through the store, an empty store? There's no customer. The store is already closed. Walk to the store, walk to the back, check everything, freezers, anything. Maybe you'll hear something, right? And be like, oh, there is somebody back here. How do you? I mean, it could take like less than 10 minutes to do that. You're not checking out a Costco store. That could take so long. So I don't understand how if somebody was an employee was alerted to do that, they refused to do that. So in a statement, Dollar Tree said that the company was cooperating fully with the authorities, and we are aware of this tragic incident, and our thoughts and prayers are with the individuals and loved ones. So that was when it happened back in December. Um, and they're saying the same thing because I think because there's a lawsuit already, they're keeping Dollar Tree is being very straightforward here. So let me see some of the comments here because now this toxicology report has been released. I wonder what people are saying. If you have any comments, you can put a comment here on this podcast, or if you're watching on YouTube. This is somebody's the tragic death of Dr. Helen Sanchez. It's a sad story all around, but my friends that have worked in those jobs in customer service usually do a run through of the store before they close up. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, guys. I usually would never close stores, but when it was my time to close, for I will make sure I check every fitting room door. I will walk every fitting room door, the stack room. I will do a walkthrough because even like excuse me, even you will see people like that are impatient. They ask you for something. You're like, let me finish with this customer. I'll go to the back and check for you. You walk to the back, and sometimes they'll walk right back, and you're like, wait, I cannot have you back here. So you will do a walkthrough like that. That's like a store closing checklist. And then this says here, somebody said this doesn't make any sense. She walked in and took refuge in the freezer and died overnight, and now the family is suing. How is it Dollar Tree fault? Um, you know, people will have their opinions. I think the key thing here, guys, like I said, if you have video, if you have that proof, their family saying somebody went to that manager and said, can you guys, we're looking for somebody who went in here, hasn't come out yet. Can you guys check for us? That's the big part right there. Um, I think the issue is that the store was told that she was in the store. They told the staff. They did, because they're not gonna break the rules and walk back there to find her. Like I said, maybe they should have just called the police, right? If you have a store manager who's not listening to you saying, I'm sorry, we're closed, we gotta go. And you're like, wait, but can you guys just double check? I just told you. And they still refuse, and you go higher and you call the police, right? Um, and somebody just said that here. Why didn't they just call the police if they thought that she was in there? Let me see. You could have a point there, passed down. My question is, why the Dollar Tree and why the freezer? There are other ways um, to freeze to death is over the top. I think she was so intoxicated after reading all of this report. I think what happened was that, this is just me analyzing this whole thing. Is from footage of I think of Dr. Helen, it seems to me like she's a very lively, playful type of person, right? You can see there's videos of her dancing and joking around, and she loves to travel and things like that. She was having a fun night. She was about to head back to her family. To her two kids and husband. I believe she was just having a good time. Maybe got um, you know, too much to drink, and probably went into the dollar store to play a trick. But you have to think she's already intoxicated. I believe she went into the freezer, um, probably hiding, probably in the first, 5, 7 minutes, hiding. They're not gonna find me here. And then, um, what I'm thinking is she either passes out because she was too intoxicated, or we need to know what time she went into the store and what time the last employee left the store, right? In between that period where she realized she's hiding, doing a prank on her family, whoever was with her that night. Nobody's gonna find me here. Let me play this joke before I leave on them. She either passes out in the freezer and then wakes up during the middle of the night, realizes there's no escape, and we all know what happened after that. Or she they're leaving the store. She realized, oh wait, I'm stuck in here. Let me see if I can get out. She start banging, right? Trying to get help. But they already closed the store. They're already out the store. Nobody hears her. And then excuse me. And then we know what happens. So that's probably what happened there. This is just my opinion here. So it's so sad all around. It's very sad. Um, Somebody said, I would like to see the footage from when she first entered the store. And that's going to be also another key. So, two big things here. She said to whoever was with her, alerted the store manager, and we need to see the footage because somebody said she actually falls down as she walks through the back. She makes her way all the way to the back. She falls down. So if that happened, we can probably could tell how bad she was, right? I mean, the toxicology report already said it, but maybe more mentally, we can see her body language, right? As she walks into the store and see what happened there. So let me see what else people say here. It's hard to believe somebody says that an anesthesiologist didn't know exactly what she was doing. Walking into a freezer drunk. Truly, she knew a person would likely die faster. No, I don't think this was intentional. I mean, I think from looking at her videos, like I said, she was either playing a prank, or she was so drunk that, you know, she was just still praying, like playing around, I think, and then realized, oh wait, I can't get out of there. So the timing of when she walks back into they eventually close down the store, that should be very important there, because if you tell me, oh my goodness, she walks in, 5 minutes later you see the employees closing and leaving the store. Wow, that's cutting it completely short right there. So if she realizes, wait, it's already, I've been here 10 minutes, I can't get out, let me start banging, see if they can hear me. A joke turned really bad, or she goes in there and completely passes out and then wakes up in the middle of the night. So let me know, guys, what you think about this. Leave it in the comments. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming to the channel. Thank you so much, everybody who's listening, watching the podcast. Have a good day. God bless. Hi everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much for coming to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next video. Have a good day, everybody. God bless.